just be regular Karma, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, I've been talking a lot about it. It's not dead. It got changed, it got nerfed, but I think if you look at how it's played in pro games, the roaming top smite strategy was not super affected by those changes. It's a little bit harder to come back into the games, but a lot of the times you're playing for late game hyperscaling anyways, and so it's less about like, oh, I need this big gold injection, just as much as like, oh, that's a nice little extra bit that we got.
Yep. Also, Aphelios Thresh picked nice and early here for Team Liquid. Makes sense for Ayla. It's clearly the champion he's most comfortable on. Has had, you know, ton of highlight plays already. Hecarim picking up steam.
Oh, baby.
Here in the LCS, going to be River's pick. Quite a departure from something like a Draven, right?
It's definitely a big departure. There's a little bit more focus on getting to your level 6 as fast as you can, a little bit more focused on jungle clear speed than River has been leaning towards. But you can still go the tank builds, which are still ultimately playing for their team, trying to be set up and engaged for them. Pairing with the Karma already, you can kind of see this idea where River's going to be the one deciding when they go or not. We'll see what else they try and pair it up with.
Ezreal also making...
I mean, that basically confirms Karma bot, I think at this point.
I was going to say. Nia's Ezreal very impressive as well. Definitely a champion you don't see too much of, but with a ton of marksmen taken or banned already, makes sense that they'll line up Ezreal here before Phase 2, as Santorin falls back to old faithful, it's Trundle.
Yeah, and like we're talking about with the more tank-oriented Hecarim builds that pop up in pro play, that actually does give a good target for Trundle to steal the resources of, or excuse me, the resists of, and that is exactly what Hecarim does not want, because then you become a very squishy horsey.
And sad times indeed. As we'll see what Teal has here in Phase 2. LeBlanc being taken away here. Looks like mid lane might be the pinch, as it has been. Yep. We assume mirrored picks here in Phase number 1 if Karma's not going anywhere different.
The mid lane bans make a lot of sense to me, given that if you look at the two pools, there are the share champions, which basically every mid laner has in the current meta, the Corkis, the Victors, and the slower paced things, a couple TFs, whatever. But outside of that, that's where Bjergsen starts flexing into the more supportive things. I was about to mention the Zilean. So you see Dig banning out the more supportive-oriented mid laners, whereas Blue has played things with a little bit more agency. He's played the Zoe, he's played the Ahri, as well as the LeBlanc, and those are the ones that you see TL targeting. So I expect to see potentially some more mid lane bans here. Top Bwipo can kind of play anything, so I can see why Dig is like, he's going to counter pick us anyways. So you're trying to remove things that you don't want to play into, like that Zilean.
Yeah, already banned Jay, so I think that's enough off of Bwipo's pool.
Yes.
Ahri banned. I was actually wondering where Ahri was going to go, because she has been so popular lately, but Team Liquid deciding to ban her instead of taking her out of this phase. That does maybe open up something like Blue Zoe, which is pretty classic with something like Ezreal, but it depends how Dig want to build the rest of this team comp. I feel like, you know, a good poke bottom lane, if that is going to be Karma support, and something like Hecarim kind of gives you the agency to do just about whatever you want.
It's interesting to see that the Ahri prioritized over the Zoe on that ban for the reason you just said, but then again, the Zoe Ezreal poke combo already feels a little weird with Hecarim anyway, so maybe that's why they wanted the Ahri, something that might combo better, pull people in, and then you hit them back again or fear them all the way and get more displacements. Either way, the Gwen ban, like it. It's a champion that's still very powerful in the current meta, and you don't want to give up a counter pick because, you know, FakeGod's probably going to be blinding his champ here.
Yep, definitely don't want to give Bwipo even more options, so Gwen is definitely a smart ban. Ryze to pick up here for Bjergsen. This is a pretty safe blind in mid, and seems to be picking up popularity as well, even though he did get a decent amount of play in the earlier weeks also. So it is now the question of what is FakeGod blinding and what is Blue's counter pick here, and really how Dig finishing this comp, right? Because there's a lot of different avenues they can take here.
Yeah, I think the Orianna Ryze matchup is one that you see a lot, and if you watch PoE yesterday, he absolutely slammed Palafox's Ryze, so you can potentially win the matchup, and it works well with the Hecarim as a potential option. Gnar, the blind for FakeGod, one of his staple champions, going to be not receiving a ton of resources you would expect.
Biofrost just going through every mid lane mage she can think of. Orianna, though, I think does make the most sense, but there's player preference, plenty of different things you can take if you want to farm it out a little bit more. It seems like they're debating Orianna and Victor, and I think Ahri completes this comp just slightly better.
Yeah, I think what we were talking about with wanting to combo the Hecarim with something so that when he goes in, there's a little bit more follow-up. Gnar will have that as well, but then the Orianna really pulls it all together for the Hecarim, as well as providing even more shields, utility, speed ups, these kind of things that the Hecarim can make good use of. And the Camille counter pick. Ooh, I like this. It's a very strong matchup post 6 into the Gnar when you start getting legit 100-0 threat, especially when combined with the global mobility of the Ryze. You can expect to see FakeGod targeted quite a bit here in Bjergsen's first Ryze of the season, but plays very similar to the TF kind of, not exactly the same way, but similar game plan sometimes that you saw yesterday.
Yeah, don't want to be sitting in lane just farming, right? Want to farm and then leave the lane.
Yeah, and you can side lane a little bit better yourself. You have a little bit more individual playmaking than the TF sometimes feels like he has.
Yeah, TF just kind of catches waves, throws out cards, and then leaves. I do like this. TL needed, another go button. Bwipo typically wants to be the person wielding the go buttons on Team Liquid, so Camille lines up there, and as you said, is a good side lane threat as well. Plus a perfectly good counter pick.
Yeah, you're going to see one of these team comps very focused on 5v5s in Dignitas with this Hecarim combination. TL, 1-3-1 or 4-1, most likely the setup. Handshakes by the coaches. Soon we'll be getting underway.
All right, well, will they win on Cold's birthday? Good thing his birthday wasn't yesterday. That would have been quite...
Ooh, that's a bad birthday
That'd be a
gift.
real bad gift.
Hey, I got you an L. Happy birthday.
You'd be returning that instantly.
You can't return to
refundable, exactly.
No, there's no
Final
receipt.
sale on L's in the LCS.
Yeah. Unfortunate. But this is a good week for TL to find out where they stand overall in the league. They want to try and rip off a couple more. Like Jat said, we're trying to see them go 16-2. It'll be very difficult from here. 11 straight wins, but the winning streak starts now for Team Liquid.
Alrighty, let's see what happens here. Team Liquid favored coming into this matchup as they often are in the LCS. Team definitely still looking good, and level 1, they are going to stream down to the bottom half of the map here as Ayla is going to be the one baiting people in, but Neo could be in a spot of bother. Has he skilled something yet? Is always the fun question, because you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's Ezreal. I don't know if he's skilled an ability point up yet. Takes
There
E
we
level
go.
1. There you go. It's still a win, actually, for Team Liquid. Like, these are the little micro advantages I love to see teams going for. Is that going to win you the game? Probably not. But if you do a bunch of intelligent things in a row, it starts to add up over time, especially in close matchups. So they're trying to decide who gets the ward XP here. That's what they're kind of debating there. They're seeing if maybe Ryze could have gotten in range for it. I can't quite tell. I think Bwipo getting it is ultimately some of the XP by being in range, I think, is good. So here, the Ezreal Karma lane really wants to focus on poking out the minions and getting the shove. If the enemy minions live, it's very hard for Neo and Bio to land that poke onto champion. So a large part of the Karma Ezreal lane is about controlling the minion wave. When you force Ezreal to take E level 1, that really negates how much shove they can really get versus the Thresh and Aphelios, who can win that push if you play the lane well. So that's actually really a smart play, as well as clearing out the ward not only gives extra experience, but it also gives you vision control now. So Biofrost can't just hide in a brush, potentially.
Yeah, Bio it does sweep out the ward Team Liquid had, which was good, but obviously using that Q and missing onto Ayla means you don't really have any threat left, although as it comes back up, things feel pretty good. Playing very aggressive though, Ayla positioning nice and far forward as he and Hans do want to win the race to level 2, and they should be able to do so comfortably here based on current lane positioning.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Dignitas are able to respect that and knock it all in, because Thresh level 2 all in can be pretty terrifying. We've also seen it comboed with Santorin cheese ganks.
Oh yes!
Something he's very good at, but Santorin is actually clearing pot to top, so he will not be comboing on anything in the bot lane early on.
It's a full clear angle today for Santorin up against the Hecarim. Ayla getting real spicy in the 2v1 briefly, but again trying to maintain this control, knowing Ezreal has E. Neo really just at the whim of whatever's happening here, just has to kill out an auto attack.
They respected the level 2, and Ayla's got cookies. He was trying to kind of bait them into a little bit heavier trading pattern as people get the last experience they need to level up. That's often why you see the level 2 all-ins work, is you're kind of forcing a trade while that's happening concurrently. Not the case, and otherwise, Team Liquid should have some good pushing lanes in the bot and mid, as well as top will lose early. The Gnar matchup tends to go in favor for Gnar a little bit early on, but once Camille starts getting levels, especially 6, you start getting that all-in threat when you combo with the jungler or mid laner.
Great from Bjergsen there, just getting the ward down, spotting out River. I mean, they expect Hecarim to pretty much just be farming regardless, but still good to get the information. Bjergsen had the push in mid already. The Team Liquid feeling just fine here, even though, as you said, the early side in top is not going well as expected.
It's those little things, though, that we're talking about. The level 1, getting slight advantage for your bot lane, the warding, being able to track River so you can't do anything crazy, you getting an advantage here now, and finding a flank angle onto FakeGod potentially.
It's in a pretty good spot for this. Bwipo ready with the hook shot. Santorin spotted though. FakeGod's going to back away, but Santorin does clear the vision.
Yeah, this is good though, because now FakeGod has to respect, is Santorin going to wrap back around on me, or is Santorin continuing on? It's clear his ward not going to be up for about another 10 seconds. FakeGod playing it a little risky, but ultimately just hucking boomerangs until he can put his next ward down.
Great from Bwipo too, like playing way more forward in this lane, because the texture of the lane changes completely when Santorin shows, right? So now Bwipo can actually play up in the lane a little bit until FakeGod has figured out, or at least gotten sick of it, that he expects Santorin to have left already, although he's still here clearing these Krogs. So there are regain possibilities, and Bwipo is going to make FakeGod respect that.
Yeah, but for now, FakeGod is just focusing on trying to get the CS, and eventually this wave will push back into him. This is going to be one of those games where the first couple levels might be a little bit slow. Both these team comps really turn on at 6. The Ori Hecarim combination, Camille and the Ryze. Ezreal Karma doesn't care about their level 6s. This is definitely one where early on there's not too much playmaking available for either teams, and it'll be more about how they execute in these little shells of their compositions. Post 6.
These are definitely all matchups as well that little things do add up, but at the highest level, typically those things neutralize. So we'll just kind of watch the game unfold as Santorin goes back down to the bottom half. Does have Bjergsen behind him. Only level 5 on the Ryze, but I like this invade. He did walk straight past the control ward, by the way, so they are just sending it for this dive.
Yeah, I mean, I think they knew Hecarim was on the top side, so there's no way that there's anyone face-checking in that brush, and they're just going to zone them off the wave. Not really an actual dive attempt, but Bjergsen might get caught out on his path back.
Yep, River and Blue here now meeting him up. Ghost actually popped by River. Bjergsen going to be forced to flash. A nice little win for Dignitas.
I think they were expecting River to continue his clear up to the top side of the map, so when he actually cut back bot lane, when they ran through that ward, Bjergsen got caught out of position, loses his flash. Gonna buy Dignitas some nice breathing room there. Nice response to help negate some of what's going wrong in the bot lane, but FakeGod in trouble. Yeah,
FakeGod actually losing the start of that trade. Bwipo looking for the solo kill. Flash Order's gonna do it! And Bwipo finds first blood.
Oh boy, Bwipo finding the timing where he's in the mini Gnar form, barely getting that kill. I think it was about 100 health left on Bwipo. And we talk about that matchup getting tough. It's getting tough before it should. So Bwipo is clearly playing this one quite well. We saw that freeze. And already a slight goal lead for Team Liquid accruing.
Yep, that first blood's going to be nice. 200 plus. Sheen now done for Bwipo alongside those phage components. So, as you said, it doesn't get easier for FakeGod. He's going to shove the wave in. Bottom side, though, Dig going to try and find some counterplay. Neo shifting in aggressively because River's here. Hook going to miss. This kind of looks like it's more about the wave than the actual gank, but River does at least visit.
Just fishing for something there. You feel a little bit under pressure when your topside matchup, which you're expecting to lose at some point potentially, starts losing earlier on. Those little things psychologically add up and make you feel like, okay, I got to go try and make something potentially here. And it was a quick look. You know, River didn't commit that much, but it does show, and that allows them potentially look for something else. On the top side of the map, you saw TL making a bit of an excursion up there.
Yeah, Santorin back up here. Bjergsen threatening roams now that he's level 6 as well.
Oh, the waves. Not in a good spot for FakeGod. And especially when you see River show in the bot lane, there's no reason for them to ever worry about if it's a bait, you know, if FakeGod walking up in the lane actually is in that position. Here, River has reset, but TL want to attack it.
Yeah, now bottom lane, of course, that gives TL the go, basically to try and find the 2v2. Neo forced to flash, gets ignited. Biofrost blocking down Ayla, gets a good amount of poke, and force out the heal, but Hans Sama onto Neo they go. And now Neo with the shield's going to have to buy, but Hans Sama flashes into the alcove. Biofrost looking for the 1v2, gets one kill. Now going to try and line up the second. Ayla low, no flash, but Biofrost can't find the angle.
Whew, that was a crazy 2v2 in the bot lane there. Hans Sama tried to step up and protect Ayla, and at some point he was like, well, I'm in it. I'm going all the way for the kill. Ends up flashing in, gets one for himself. It does end up protecting Ayla, and you get the kill, whereas the support Karma gets the kill, so still a good trade-up for TL in the bot lane there, as well as the CS lead that they've been able to get.
Also, no one died in top lane, which is a bit surprising. Let's watch this one again.
So right away, Ayla wants to get aggressive onto Neo here, combining his CC with the purple gun. So that's why they go for the flash play. Waits for the shift, then gets the root, then gets the hook. That forces the flash out, but that puts Ayla pretty far forward, who have been taking damage from the Karma the whole time. So Hans Sama right here makes the decision, I gotta get Neo off of Ayla so he can't actually land that Q. And that allows Hans Sama to find the kill. He plays it really aggressively, but from here, there's just no way that you can actually win this situation. You know, Karma is still a little scary pre-6 just with their base damages.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Hans Sama died casting his ultimate there, which looks kind of funny, but still has it, didn't go on cooldown.
Aha!
But it is Bwipo still atop the gold charts here, despite the scuffle in bottom lane.
It is one of those things that can make a fight look really bad and become a 2 for 0s. When you get the level ups, you get that little bit of HP, then you get to skill your ability really quickly. They almost maybe could have won that if he could have gotten the ult off, but who knows.
Instead, just a 1-for-1, which is good news on either side. Hans, though, getting the better of the CS as River, level 7. camping here in mid, but pretty tough to poke this Ryze, even though Bjergsen doesn't have flash. He's got Merc Treads, playing nice and far back here near the tower. Santorin's taking the Herald. We'll see if Dig want to move over and challenge. Bwipo is the one with Prio in top lane, but the same is not true in mid, as we can see.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to try and stop this one from going down. Both bot lanes are staying bot, so this will just be a 3-for-3 contest. And River is trying to cut off Bjergsen. They want to catch him in the rotation.
Really nice here. Ball on. Bjergsen now going to be the target. Shockwave lands. They're just going to go for it. Does get knocked back. No ulti committed, but he got chunked massively.
Yeah, there's no flash on him, so they didn't need to use all their abilities at once. That was actually surprisingly reserved by Dignitas, but I kind of like it. They could have committed a ton of abilities to try and finish off Bjergsen, but they respected the fact that Bwipo had the angle to get down there first. So they just chunk out Bjergsen. That forces TL off the objective and allows them to be the ones to actually start it up.
Yeah, still a win here for Dignitas to nab this Herald. Using just enough to make sure they can take over this objective, and it looks like Santorin's not going to be back into contest. Bjergsen not healthy enough to go and doesn't have TP even if he made it back to base. So Dig, a subtle little thing as you're saying, but an effective one nonetheless.
Yeah, Bjergsen lost his flash in that little roam earlier on, and at some point I wanted Dignitas to look mid again and try and set up post-6, that combination. And they did have that look, but Bjergsen was being very respectful. But I like the way they actually found an opportunity. It wasn't a kill, but Bjergsen rotating out a lane is still risky without that flash, and they punished it a little bit. Not getting the kill, but getting the Rift Herald away.
All right, well, 360, 400 gold up right now for Team Liquid. Not a particularly big advantage, and the Herald plates should erase pretty much all of that, if not give Dig maybe a very slight lead. So we'll see where it's going to be dropped for River. Does have the Herald for a number of minutes.
It is feeling like it's staunching the bleeding, though. Already in top and bot lane, you see some pretty big gold leads accruing for Bwipo when that was not really what was supposed to be the strong part of the matchup for him. This is when it is, when you have all-in threat.
Oh.
You can chunk the little Gnar out so hard.
And at it again, Santorin now just rolls on up. The tower dive started early. Bwipo barely needs Santorin's help. In fact, he doesn't need it at all. Now he does! The Mega Nut transform is almost enough, but Santorin saves the day.
Being a little greedy there, Team Liquid. Bwipo tried to delay the damage on getting the kill so that the pillar could give the assist to the Trundle, but in doing so, it allowed Mega Gnar to come out. Almost allowed the 1-for-1 turnaround, but not the case.
Biofrost with a big chunk on the Hans in rotation, but doesn't find anything else. Ezreal ulti would have been a good chunk of damage. Blue had Shockwave back up as well, but instead it's just Dig taking control of this dragon area.
Unfortunate, not able to find the kill on the top side, not able to make anything happen in the bot lane either. They're going to try and use this Rift Herald down here to start accelerating Neo, it looks like. Not a bad idea. We'll see if they end up dropping or if they just want to get some chunk down on this turret.
Gonna have to make a decision soon. Riven not going to use it by the looks of things, but they already got a plate, maybe looking for 2 now. Hans also can't need too much poke here, as long as Biofrost lands those empowered Qs, but seems like everyone's staying and River's leaving, so that is not where the Herald's going to be put just yet, as Hans, like I said, can't need too much poke here.
Yeah, Biofrost being a bit of a sniper right now. This is one of those matchups where you can contest it a fair amount early on, and if you find a lot of kills in the Karma, maybe you run her over, but come level 5, level 6, she's going to start winning that one. So here, this is when the matchup gets bad. Post level 6, in Minion Gnar farm, there's so much engage range on the Camille that the Minion Gnar can kind of get chunked out whenever they want. Here, Bwipo gets the all-in. FakeGod trying to build the Rage up, but here, you see Bwipo kind of hold his auto there. He's kind of messing around in the brush, trying to let Trundle get that pillar up. It almost went really bad for Bwipo there. One more auto attack and he would have died, but they did end up getting that assist onto the Trundle. They actually got the kill.
Yep, well calculated at the end of it all. As Matt wants to see Bwipo pop off. You know what? Tune in just about any time he's playing. He'll probably pop it off one way or the other.
He's starting. He is in mid pop-off right now. He's in the middle of popping.
He's in jump squad. About to take off.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's the Rift Herald. In we go. River looking for the first tower here as well, so plenty of threat. Han's going to have to back away. Nice here for Dig to get this extra gold. Should swing the gold back to even or in their favor, as you can see, up about 100, so we'll call it even at the end of the day, but Team Liquid not done here in topside. FakeGod gonna get ulted, Bwipo flashing on in, FakeGod just can't get away, Mininar, such an easy target for the Triforce Camille.
I'm not even played that well on Team Liquid's side, honestly. You can see how bad this matchup can become once the Camille starts snowballing there, has the Triforce completed already, tried to get the flash hook stuns connected, didn't even hit, doesn't matter, just ult him, he's dead. And this is the problem with the top side of the map is bot lane has recovered. You drop the Rift Herald down there, you're getting gold, but you're having to commit so many more resources than Team Liquid is having to for getting basically the same effect on the top side. The River is trying to punish now.
The level 8 Hecarim is trying to battle the level 11 Camille, but Bwipo has a lot less health, and now River with the ulti is gonna get the shutdown. Very well played by River.
Nice influx of gold for the Hecarim there. You can see how scary Bwipo is, how much damage the Triforce Q is doing right now. It's absolutely terrifying, but just not enough left in the tank, already low. Greeting out to try and finish that turret, it felt like, given that the bot one had already dropped. And you can expect that after this dragon, Dignitas are going to flip their focus onto the top side of the map.
Yep, Plate Greed costing Bwipo his life there, but I'm sure he's thinking worth in the back of his brain as Team Liquid are taking this first Drake. It's quite late. Ooh, 14 minutes.
That's a rich Camille, 6,000 gold. Next closest was 5,200.
No.
And yeah, like you said, late dragon, but I think it makes sense given the lack of concern for either team around their bot lane. You saw how much focus there was on the top side of the map, and Dignitas were not naturally winning, so they couldn't have forced it earlier. We'll see if they want to keep stacking these for Team Liquid or if they just grab that on that timing window. It's late enough in the game now that an early soul is not really a win condition.
No, definitely felt more like a, little extra.
Yeah, like the Hecarim's top. Let's take dragon.
Yeah. And River, I mean, getting that kill did actually keep the gold at least a little closer between the first and or second and third richest people in this game, but it is still Bwipo's kingdom right now. And Bwipo is not, will not, and does not need to leave the side lane anytime soon.
He's about to get all this turret gold for himself as well, so that lead in the game will get richer. The rich get richer. It's a 6 system, League of Legends.
Oh, League of Legends. As Bwipo with the backup here of Ayla and Santorin. Does have plenty of space. Oh, that's rude.
He's on a pink ward.
He's canceled his recall. Right,
got punished.
Back. Oh, are they diving this? This is actually like bullying. This is so mean to poor Gnar.
Yeah.
Oh, he just gets stunned. Ulti, click the buttons, hit him. Oh, it's so easy. And Santorin gonna get the second kill.
Yeah, this is feeling pretty rough. In the mid lane, you're gonna see an attempted counterattack for the reset timing that came through here, but Dignitas can't really get too much done. And Bwipo is gonna start working on his second turret of the game. This is feeling like Bwipo versus the world right now. It's a very wide Bwipo.
Thank you out there on the internet. FakeGod definitely getting bullied here, but hey, Team Liquid picked this matchup to try and exploit the mini Gnar, and they are doing a very good job of snowballing that way. Not sure if Hullbreaker is going to be enough to save FakeGod here, but he's going to have to try. You know what I think you should do? Once it hits 20 minutes, go to the bottom lane. Maybe you can bait them so you can take Baron, because definitely the side lane's not getting any better.
I mean, it's at the point in the game now where the Camille can kind of do it alone. You don't need the Trundle anymore, especially since Camille also just completed her Hullbreaker to offset whatever, slight pushing advantage you would have got. Hullbreaker is actually a surprisingly good defensive item in the sense that the majority of it's a giant stat stick for the most part. Yeah. And the majority of those stats are located on the resist and the health. So it is good if you're kind of losing a lane to try and stabilize because you're going to be harder to kill. But for Bwipo, one, he's the one pushing in, so he can actually utilize the offensive part of that passive and the damage on the turrets. And two, it makes diving easier, because hey, you're tankier now. So it's still a rough spot for FakeGod to be in.
Yeah, 2 levels ahead. We'll talk about it later, because they're trying to get something done on the other side. Ayla going to be the target onto Hard Summer. We go River with the great wraparound, but Ayla with the hook is nice. The ulti there for River, not in time, and Santorin just ults him, and they shoot down the horsey. As Bjergsen's going to roam on in, that's going to force a flash. Everfrost procs, barely missing Bio. As Bwipo roamed on up there with the TP to try and make it happen, but they get no further kills.
River a little ahead of the rest of his team there. You could see the idea of trying to get a bit of a split fight, but no one could really follow up, and by the time his team was in range, River was nearly dead himself. So easy turn for Team Liquid to focus him down, then chase out the rest of Dignitas. That will net them their first Rift Herald. And we'll see where they choose to drop it, most likely mid lane, to keep this snowball going.
Seems like it is Team Liquid, who have kind of been back and forth with, a couple hundred gold here and there. Shotgunning all the way up to 2,500 right now, and claiming that second Herald's going to break the game open even more. And if we had illustrated it enough, FakeGod was down 2 levels to Bwipo, but really just look at the items. He's down a whole Trinity Force. That item is not cheap.
No. That is an expensive item. And the problem compositionally for Dignitas is no one other than FakeGod really wants to be side lanes. He's matched up versus the Ryze right now, but the Ryze is probably going to be a tank Ryze build, and then you're actually somewhat good into the Gnar as well. So Bwipo can hold up well against Blue. Blue's going to need protection. That's why Biofrost is up here. Bwipo's respecting that, but no one wants to go toe-to-toe against him. And at the same time, you have another threat in Bjergsen building on the other side.
Oh, Neo caught out of position. Shift flashes towards the team. Biofrost rolls on in and popping the Shurelias, but Neo does at least get saved, but has to use the flash.
Well done by Team Liquid utilizing the 3 part of the 1-3-1. It's often not talked about, but when resources from the enemy are being pulled to one of the side lanes, you can then get aggressive in the mid lane. And TL showing an expert understanding of how to execute this game plan. Usually Ezreal is very slippery, but the Karma shows topside, so he doesn't get that little bit of extra mobility. A nice angle by Santorin forces that flash out with Dragon coming up in 15 seconds and losing that summoner on the primary carry. That's very scary for Dignitas now.
Have to feel like Santorin's just going to look for a pillar, drop the Herald mid, and then they'll roll on over to the Dragon. Bwipo here as well. Also Camille, like we said, perfectly good in team fights. Yes, your stat stick gets turned off a little, but still have a Triforce.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine in this situation considering both of you have it as well. You're in the same situation here. And so while there's technically better items, if both of you have opted into it, it's not so bad. River in a nice flank position here to try and force the rest of the team into FakeGod, who's building his Gnar up. They're going to get this timing while after the Dragon dies. They can try and punish them.
Yeah, here's the fight. Hansama, ooh, very good catch there for River. Needs to get the kill. The Lantern's out, and they can't quite find it. Santorin diving back in, gets ulted up by FakeGod. Shockwave onto Santorin's going to give him the shutdown, but Bjergsen firing away as the hook does miss, but Bwipo just dives in onto Neo, almost takes him out. The stun lands on the other side. Bwipo with a very fast flash to barely escape. And the Leanders is not enough to take him out.
Nice fight by Dignitas. It's a little copium given that the Dragon already dropped, but I actually like that a lot better about waiting for the windows of your power than trying to force onto the Dragon early. They waited for FakeGod's Mega Gnar before River went in, and you can see that how strong their 5v5 comp is. This is where they're stronger, right here, and River has a really nice engage, kind of splitting the team up. He gets behind Hansama, who is able to knock into the rest of the team. The Lantern is there to save him, but now Hans is super low. He does get a little bit of a healing from his ultimate, but now you're in this ball comp, exactly where you want to be. You can focus down the Trundle because your team's so much better front to back. Then when Bwipo goes in, the rest of the team kind of already chunked out, is having a hard time following up there. This flash, absolutely necessary. That Karma Q would have killed him as well. Would have been a 2-for-0 in Dignitas' favor. And so you can see there is still pressure on Team Liquid to play these team fights well.
Right, and if Bwipo didn't deal almost 2,000 damage and cleave 80% of Neo's health with one Q after jumping in, that would have been a very different team fight because Neo can actually keep fighting. So I do like that we get to see, you know, what Dig have drafted, what they can play towards. Still behind in gold, still cannot win in the split map, but there is hope here for Dig, and that first team fight is a very nice look for them.
Yeah, this is the really interesting part of the game for me, where you're trading windows of power, tons of summoners down for Dignitas after that fight, and there's no major objective to really play around. So you're just trying to weather the storm until the next Dragon, where you know you can potentially get a 5v5. Team Liquid, on the other hand, want to abuse this as much as they can, both in the side lane and using that Rift Herald in the mid lane. And it's really hard for Dig to deal with this part of the game when it is a more split open map, when there's no objective you have to fall back towards.
Yeah, Bwipo just getting aggressive. There's 4 people now from Dig on the bottom half of the map, but now Bjergsen's got things going on the other side. Does have the TP ready as well. We are well past 14 minutes, so of course the teleports are ready to be unleashed. And Rift Herald was dropped mid, didn't actually clear the tower, which is actually a pretty important detail. And Dig, with a very nicely timed counter punch, are going to take this tower out.
Yeah, that's a huge... Oh, hold on, TP coming in.
Great pillar, good heal though from Neo, runs away, and everyone's out. Oh, both of them are in there. Maybe you're going to keep going. Biofrost's going to pop the speed and everyone's going to run away, but TL really want this tower, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you do trade turrets out because they lost mid-priority on the kiting out of that situation. It's probably slightly Team Liquid favored, given that they have the 1-3-1 comp. If you can push the enemy further into your base, you kind of shrink the map, and it's easier to move from mid to top and whatnot and actually pull these dives off around Bwipo. But Dignitas, the gold lead hasn't really grown recently. And scaling-wise, I don't think there's a huge advantage necessarily for Dignitas, but compositionally there is in terms of 5v5s. And usually when you get late game, yeah, sometimes you get the crazy backdoor split pushes. We'll see if that ends up happening, but more often than not, it's decided by team fights. So 2K down here, Aphelios scales really well, Ezreal scales really well, Ryze scales very differently than how Orianna wants to scale. And I think, you know, it's just about, can Dignitas find more fights like that last one at the Dragon?
Yeah, carries are on track, right? You know, 2 items for blue, 2 items for Neo. Same is true for Bjergsen and Hans. Jungler's feeling just fine. It is, you know, FakeGod that's obviously the big one that sticks out. Bwipo is continuing to build power for the side lanes, with the Tiamat now finished as well. But I mean, at this point, FakeGod kind of knows that, like, yes, I mean, I do have to deal with this Camille that I can't deal with in the side lanes, but I just want to get to a team fight, go mega, and hit my ult button, right? Like, here's one very simple job.
Yeah, I mean, the win con for FakeGod is have my, don't die, which is actually admittedly sounds very simple, but very challenging. And then have your Mega Gnar ready to go in team fights. That's really what his duty is in this game. But for Team Liquid, they do have some strategical options. Like, okay, you have strategic strategical.
Yep.
I mean, you have 50 seconds until the Ocean Dragon comes up. You actually don't need to. You can keep stacking Dragon to win, but if you put Bwipo on the top side and start threatening inhib, you can also let Dig kind of get the Dragon and just play for this side lane split push win condition. I don't think they want to do that. They still want to win the fights. But there is a few more options available to Team Liquid. You don't have to go to these Dragons because Dignitas was not able to stack them up because of how the laning went early on.
Yeah, and you can see Dig just pushing through mid. I mean, they're going to show up to the Rumble every time, right?
They're like, I hope you meet me in the alleyway in 20 seconds in River. And they're like, well, maybe we'll show up. We'll see.
Maybe. Bwipo just chilling. He's potentially in danger, but Dig have to be concerned about Baron as well, as you can see. So fanning over to the top half of the map as TL are forcing them to respect the Baron take, which is a really nice little detail here as Bwipo is trying to get pressure in the bottom lane.
It is a good reason to have kept Bwipo in the bot lane. If Dig want to commit to getting this Dragon, you can actually go flip and go for the Baron instead. You have a pretty good Baron team. Ryze and Aphelios will be able to do quite well. You can tank it up with the Trundle. So I do like this option, actually, keeping Bwipo down there as opposed to putting him top and then having pressure around the Dragon. This keeps more pressure around the Baron, but looks like they're opting into the fight.
Neo again. Oh, he's holding onto the shift. Here's the wraparound. Bwipo going to be the one going in, but the damage isn't there just yet. Blue, though, gets assassinated by Han Summer, and a great ult from River. Maybe going to save the fight, but he gets blown up after the fact. FakeGod hasn't even transformed yet, and Team Liquid cleanly win the 5v5.
Absolutely beautiful engage by Bwipo. He ends up dying for it, but he assassinates Blue. And with the Orianna down, there's no more threat in terms of chasing them in. They follow up, they get the next 2 kills. Excellent team fight there by Bwipo, finding that flank because he was already sitting down the bot lane.
And going to save some precious time here with the Realm Warp and take the Baron off the table as well. Team Liquid with a decisive blow here around that 3rd Dragon are going to get it all off the back of Bwipo's engage.
Yeah, and this is exactly why having him in the bot side is nice, is because when they try and kite down, they're already right there. Lands the ult on, gets the empowered Q. You're going to see him blow Blue up from basically half HP. It's disgusting. Han Sama also actually contributed some damage with the range of his ult. And then here, after the Blue is dead, like I said, no ultimate. It's easy to chase down from there. Finding Neo was critical as well. He's the only other threat in the comp, really. So is a good job by Team Liquid there. Bwipo showing it's not just about the side lane.
No, definitely not. Han's just barely eking out more damage than Bwipo in that team fight. Bwipo was the only player on Team Liquid to go down. So very impressive play out of Bwipo, both in lane and in side lane and in team fight lane, I suppose. And now with the Baron, Team Liquid going to look to put the finishing touches on this game. They're up almost 5k. This Baron power play should be real good if they can navigate their waves correctly. And given that they have, again, this Camille and this Ryze that are already very good in the side lane, they're going to be made only better by the Baron.
Yeah, this is a doomsday scenario for Dignitas here. If you had enough trouble holding them pre-Baron in the 1-3-1, now you have very little hope. The best thing they can do is probably try and attack the 3 if they ever step too far forward. Hans unfortunately has Flash, which makes it very difficult. In fact, almost everyone does, but Bwipo and Ayla, which are not really your targets anyways, so it's going to be hard for Dig to weather this storm, and your best bet is honestly looking for an opportune time to find and engage onto either one of the side laners or Han Sama.
Yep, still Orianna and still Hecarim, right? It's an easy combination to click those buttons as River does get stopped by a very nice pillar, but Han Sama moving forward. Neo flashed there, didn't have shift available, it looked like.
Yeah, Purple Gun on Han Sama meant that if he didn't get out of there, he's going to get rooted up and probably killed. So I like that Neo respected the threat, but sucks that you lose Flash there.
Yeah, now Bwipo is going to waltz the minions on in. Nicely timed here with Bjergsen getting in-hit pressure there in the top half of the map, as Bjergsen has been, like, pretty absent, but in a good way, right? Like, he's just making sure the waves, like, he's doing all the admin work, right, behind the scenes as the rest of the team's kind of leading the charge with Bwipo. Now in a bit of trouble. Good flash, but should be fine. Yeah, phase rush is quite the rune. And Bwipo's just waltzing on forward. FakeGod's almost mega. Bwipo's decided that that is no longer a deterrent. And decides that Biofrost is actually enough of one. Are going to walk away alongside Santorin.
Yeah, not able to grab the inhibitor, excuse me, unfortunately. But I like the idea. Instead of trying to save Bjergsen or turn that play, you just go to the opposite side of the map where you now know you have enough people to force the objective down. Woohoo!
Nicely done by Bjergsen. Good little trick.
Broke the ankles on the horse there, ulting out, shifting away from him.
Yeah.
River, really trying to find something. Like I said, you want to kill someone so you don't just fall to this split push, but without his ult now, that means Team Liquid has nothing to be scared of, and they are playing so aggressive.
Yeah, the Magician's back. Bjergsen TP's back into mid lane. They break down bottom in here. They're going to take down mid. And look, that top lane, the Bjergsen prep's pretty nice, but Everfrost onto River with no ulti. It's an easy kill on the Hecarim any day of the week. as Team Liquid are marching towards the end of this game.
10 seconds left on Baron buff. Might have to reset instead, but Bwipo looks like he's coming back for a TP to get triple inhibs, and maybe they just sit on them for the entire rest of the game here. We'll see if Team Liquid opt into a reset or if they just try and end free 30 minutes.
Yeah, Bwipo is going to go here. Just needs to hit the tower once or twice. Turns out it was twice. Takes that out. Neo trying to fight. Pillow there from Santorin running interference. Oh, good little gravity gun. Neo actually getting poked pretty massively. As FakeGod going to be the next target there by Hans. But again, it's all smoke and mirrors as Bwipo takes down the final inhib, and Team Liquid will take likely their final reset of this game.
Slow and steady wins the race, but you got to respect it. They grab all 3 inhibs. A minute until Ocean Soul. They're going to get their reset. I'm sure they're all sitting on a ton of gold as well. Looks like most of them have over 1,000. A couple of them at 2K. Hansama is in particular is very happy to get a purchase off. And now you have this Ocean Dragon fight. It's do or die for Dignitas. You have to go here. You have to fight it. You have to hope for a miracle because you're 8,000 gold behind, trying to win a fight with no inhibitors up. It's tough because even if Team Liquid can just slow play it, you know, and eventually the minions will win the game at this point. So Dignitas have a very small window to try and turn this one around.
Yeah, we got Death Stance now for Bwipo. Moon Panzer for Bjergsen. IE finish now for Hans. I mean, yeah, like, Dig have some items, but doesn't matter.
No.
The wallet of Team Liquid once again proving to be too big.
Nice bounce back for Team Liquid, it feels like, after the Golden Guardians game yesterday. This one has been pretty clean outside of a few mistakes, but honestly, that was a lot of it Dignitas having some good looks. And from here, you know, Team Liquid is not even sending multiple people. Bjerg is going to solo the dragon himself, and the rest are going to be on zoning duty. This is the power of Ryze. You're a pretty strong individual champion.
Certainly. And even Ocean Drake, which is kind of a nuisance. The attack speed slow. Not going to be tricky for Bjergsen at all. She just hawks spells at it. You know, he's decided to stop kiting the dragon. I guess you don't really need to once it's pulled out of the pit, but, you know.
Lazy. Work on the mechanics.
Just taking a little break, you know. That's like, I feel like you take the mouse hand off then. You know, you just kind of like do this.
Grab your water. That's the perfect hydration time.
Yeah, he uses lip balm a lot. Maybe that's the time to
reapply. Yeah. He's like, I might be getting interviewed. I got to look my best.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's getting pogged this game?
Bwipo?
Probably Bwipo. It's Bwipo.
All right, well, Team Liquid, like we said, just trying to coast the minions into the enemy towers and finish off the game as Bwipo is going to escape River's final attempt at engaging. Still have Ori, still have Hecarim, but gotta find a good angle, and you have very few left when things are this crowded in your base. This is an Ezreal nightmare. There are super minions in every possible front of this battlefield.
Yeah, and Team Liquid don't really need to do anything. Here we go.
Good little crunch there for FakeGod. Scoops him on in, but Hansama is going to go golden, pulled back by the Lantern. River with the ulti in the back line, but Bwipo, Santorin flashing forward. Hans on a killing spree, took out Neo on the way down, and Team Liquid are just going to clean house. Bwipo obliterates Blue. That's the ace, almost as Biofrost is barely left alive, running into his own jungle. But Team Liquid will take the Nexus, but will Biofrost die in the end? No, Santorin's going to try to chase it down.
No, they're giving him time. Ayla and Bwipo are not hitting the Nexus. They're like, get him!
End him!
Where are you, Biofrost?
All right, the game's over.
I appreciate Team Liquid. Thank you for ending the game. Like we said, great bounce back for Team Liquid this time, and Bwipo continuing to be the force that he is in the top lane. Nice counter pick, absolutely destroyed FakeGod in the game afterwards, and for Dignitas, on the other hand, you can see feeling the effects of what is beginning to be a big slide down the standings.
Yeah, definitely rough there, but Liquid still keeping X2 alive. Very important for you and chat, I know, as Bwipo...
Only 10 more!
As Bwipo grows ever wider.
Yeah, I think that was a really cool game to watch. I thought there were a lot of interesting nuances that you saw Team Liquid being a good team in the early game about how can we try and negate their advantages in the bot lane early on and the pressure that they put onto Neo and those little things, which stops the dragon stacking for the 5v5 team potentially, and actually getting Bwipo ahead, Bwipo having good laning and finding the freeze and stuff. Like, you could see them working so well together as a unit that had a really clear game plan on how to get the most out of their composition.
Yeah, again, like Team Liquid is often a team of, and those were matchups where micro advantages and eventually add up into something bigger.
Yep.
And Team Liquid with really excellent execution of that concept.
And you can see some happy birthday wishes for Cole. We won you the game, coach.
He's like, good, because you're not getting Camille again.
I wonder what...
Can't win on my birthday.
Wonder what the birthday dinner is. KBBQ? It's kind of the
that seems
standard.
like the stock standard, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cole should pick something else. You make them go to, like, I don't know, some different restaurant, different cuisine.
I think
Branch
so.
out.
It's a good advice. in general.
It was good advice. Dignitas gonna need some good advice about how to recover from here. It feels like they have good ideas of what they want to do, but sometimes these issues start to add up. The bot lane, I think, wanted to win harder, and they wanted to snowball through bot, or not even snowball, but just start stacking dragons, and weren't able to do that. Top went bad a little bit earlier than they wanted, and they had ideas about how to punish Bjerg when he lost his flash and stuff, but just couldn't pull the trigger on him.
All right, well, with another win under their belt, and Jets bet and Mark's bet still